What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with another Losi Promoto MX video. This one just a quick tip on tires. I know these rear tires have kind of become hard to get because they're something that wears fairly quick on these bikes, and they're pretty much back ordered with the bikes right now, I guess. So if you didn't get in and get a few of these early, you may be struggling to find a rear tire. And I just wanted to show anybody that doesn't know that you can basically turn this into this. So this is just a Proline Badlands 2.8 inch Proline 1173. I'll link it in the description if I can. You can get these in sets of 2. So if you just want to buy 2 for like 25, 30 bucks, something like that, depending where you get it, I guess. You can get 2 of them and make it into this. So I'm not the first to do this. Obviously, we've been stretching tires onto crawlers and stuff forever. So it's just something that it's been in the hobby for a long time, but I thought maybe somebody out there didn't know that this was possible and was really needing a rear tire. You can also do this with other tires. I got a set of the Proline Street Fighter short course 2.2 by 3.0 tires on the way. I've seen some people doing those. They look really good as a street tire on here. I will do the front and rear with those. So once those tires get here, I'll be doing a set of those, obviously. But I think this turned out really well, and you can probably see like it doesn't have too much bounce to it. It's fairly well balanced. I mean, I can live with that. And man, it looks meaty. Now I haven't ran this yet because I'm basically wanting to kind of put this on a more custom built bike. I don't think I'm even going to run that red bike until I can just like slowly build it out a little bit. So I'm going to get a set of hubs for these. So I haven't really ran that yet to speak for how long it's going to last or anything. It is a little softer compound than the stock, which I think means we're going to get maybe a little better traction, less just spin, you know, but it may wear a little quicker. But at least these are available at the moment. So you can get the wheels right now on Amain, and I think even Horizon still has those, so I'll link them in the description. So you're gonna need a wheel. You will have to either cut your stock tire. If your stock tire is shot, either cut it or use some CA removal or something to get that off, because I did use the foam out of this in this wheel and tire combo. I tried the foams it came with, which are these. They're not good. I tried an SCX6 foam that I cut in half here. Thought maybe cramming that in there would be good. They're just not firm enough, and you get a lot of shift and roll with them. So the stock foam out of these just seemed to work best. So that's something you may have to go to hacking on your stock tire. So I would run that thing till it's shot, and then maybe just cut around through here and peel that thing off of the rim, something. There's tons of ways to get that off of me. You can bake wheels, and people do all kinds of crazy things to get glued tires off. I've never really messed with it much because it's easier for me to buy a new set of wheels and tires usually. But with these being kind of hard to get, maybe you want to go that route. So I'm going to show you guys exactly where I cut this and just kind of how I stretched it onto the wheel. And hopefully it comes in handy for somebody out there needing a tire. All right, before we get into cutting this thing, I wanted to show you, this is what I'm talking about, the Uncure CA glue remover. I think you can even get this at like Hobby Lobby and stuff, but this stuff works pretty good. It's gonna require a little work trying to get the glued tire off, but you can see right here, I did a little bit, just kind of checking it out to show you guys, but this was fully glued. I'm not doing my dirt bike tire because I'm not ready to take it off yet. So this is just an old wheel that was glued, and I wanted to show you guys. You can see here, that's pretty well glued around this edge. So you're just going to take some of this, run it around the edge. Now you can just kind of let this stuff soak a little bit. You can start working the tire immediately if you want to, whatever, but you'll see you'll start getting like little spots like that right there. You can add a little more. And it's going to take some work, but eventually you will start getting that tire off. You can let that soak, and it'll get a little bit easier. I think you can see we're starting to get some peel there. Like I said, This is something you'll just have to work with, but you can see right there how much that's already coming off. So we're already getting that far. Just keep adding a little more of that and keep peeling. I mean, if you let it soak, like I said, it's gonna get easier, but I'm already getting all of that loose where this was fully glued to start with. So you can get the stock tire off of the stock wheel. So these are a beadlock style two-piece wheel that bolt together, but you can see they're not made to actually clamp the tire. You do have to glue the tire around this ring here. So basically that's just for like changing out your hubs and stuff, I guess, but these do have to be glued. So the stock ones are glued, and you are gonna have to remove that if you're reusing that foam. You could probably get some sort of weather stripping or something like that. If you haven't seen the stock foam, it looks like this. I feel like there's a lot of the weather stripping that has the sticky back that's almost this size. I bet we could find some, wrap the rim with it, and then just slap the tire on. But if you can get to this stock foam, it works really well. So when I was cutting this tire, I used some curved Lexan scissors. I mean, any scissors really will cut this stuff, but I just start in anywhere, doesn't matter. These aren't the sharpest. They've been used to cut everything under the sun. My son comes and grabs them and cuts everything with them. There we go. Gotta have a fresh pair of Lexan scissors. I have an old pair that we use to cut a little bit of everything, but I just kind of hold this out so I can see where I'm going, and I cut right around the top part of the letters. It helps if you can hold this kind of out. And then once I get to this, I just make sure I kind of cut an even cut to the top of these numbers here, all the way around, top of the letters, made in USA, cutting that straight off. This doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you don't want it to be super jaggy, but these are going to be stretched enough that it will fit on there fine, and then we're going to glue it. Now, if you see any like really bad spots like right there, you can try to even that up if you want. The way these, once they're stretched, they kind of roll. I don't think it's really even going to matter. So once you cut both sides, obviously you can see this one's already been done. You're gonna need your foam. Now you'll see the foam is quite a bit bigger. So when you put this in, it's gonna have some wrinkle to it like this. You really kind of need to stretch your tire out to get that flat, because you don't want a big bulge in there. So the best you can, get that thing in there where it doesn't have any nasty bulges in it. Got one little spot right here. See how it's like kind of kinked up a little? Once you get it in there good, just kind of work it around, and you can see it actually fits in there nice now. No bulges in it anywhere. No creases. And then it's basically just stretching it onto the wheel. So you can take your wheels apart, or you can actually just leave them together. For me, it's actually fairly easy to kind of leave it together. At this point, you may have to put down your purse and get out your man card, because it can get a little tough to stretch, but fairly easy. Work this over. You want to make sure your foam stays kind of even still, doesn't get wrinkled. You really want to kind of get that foam in the center of the wheel. That's why this stock foam works really well. So as you're working this lip over, kind of make sure that foam is where it needs to be, like that. See how that foam's just falling into place. You kind of go around, tuck this into that lip where we're going to glue it. I'm kind of just pushing that foam from the backside here, making sure it's where it needs to be. That side is on. Now before I glued this, I would kind of check that it's all even, because sometimes you'll see your foam shifted left to right a little. It's something we're kind of going to deal with in some spots. You can see this side's a little more firm than this side because that foam, this tire is just a little wider. You could probably cut a little more off of it, may help that. Or you can kind of shift that foam a little bit. I just try to work it all around to where it looks fairly even. So we got a little wobble. It's almost like truing a bike wheel. Instead of working the spokes, we're just working this foam. I feel like it needs to go over just a little bit right there. So it's really just a matter of kind of playing around, getting that foam even in there and just getting that thing balanced and straight to your liking. I think this is something, with this kind of being a rig job or mod, we're probably, as we drive this from time to time, going to have to kind of shift that foam around a little bit, but I think it will work well enough. I don't know how that will be on cornering. You can kind of see this side here. See that little dip, how it's lower than this side? That foam's just a little off center, so you really just kind of got to work it around, I think. And see, that looks better. So really, you're just gonna have to play around with it, kind of work that foam around until you can get this thing to your liking. And then you'll be ready for glue. That's not terrible. So then it's honestly just a matter of pulling your tire back, dropping a little glue down in this crack, letting it run, letting your tire fall back into the groove there. You're gonna do that all the way around both sides. So don't forget, you're gonna need hubs, and you should be ready to go. I know this is not perfect, nothing I do is, but it's just a matter of working that thing around and getting it good enough for your liking, and this at least gives us some tire options for these things at the moment. I'm sure there will be lots of tires popping up for these soon. As popular as these bikes are, everybody's gonna be making parts for them. You can see, once this thing's stretched onto the wheel, there's really not much difference in size, just a little bit smaller in diameter, maybe a hair wider, definitely meatier looking. And I'm not sure how these will do, you know, perform as far as cornering and stuff, but it looks like we're gonna get a lot of side bite. And pretty excited to run this. I just really want to kind of build that bike out before I take these and go nuts with them. So you guys let me know what you think about this, and hopefully this helps somebody out who's needing a tire. I appreciate it. Peace.